Today I'm going to be talking about the hallowed path, which is a term I use for connecting with nature. A journaling technique that can help elevate your consciousness and well-being and strengthen your ability to co-create each day, as well as a wall of inspiration, an enlivened meditation, and a symbolic painting of the rose and lotus. And a little bit of my black beauty Alba, so lots of beauty and soul nourishment. Hello beautiful people, my name is Emily and I'm coming to you from Aotearoa, New Zealand. The impulse behind my videos is a pathway into beauty and soul nourishment in these incredibly intense times that we're finding ourselves in. A lot of us have so much stress and anxiety and loneliness and a desire for something more, a connection with others that is meaningful and a connection with ourselves that is healing and empowering, and also a desire for greater health and well-being in a time where we're all under so much pressure. We've had burnout, trauma, illness. I, for one, have suffered burnout a couple of times because I live life quite intensely. I am a motivated individual who just loves to do so much. I find that there's so much that we can live into each day. And it's about, for me, aligning myself to right action, like what are the right things to put my attention to. But the burnout has been real and I've had to find pathways back to health and equilibrium. And hopefully my videos show you a pathway or some variety of pathways back into this health and well-being through creativity and beauty and nature connection and ritual. This is one of my favourite places in Te Whanganui-a-Tara, Wellington, the Begonia House, which has a beautiful lotus and water lily pond, and I experience it as a temple, a plant temple. Nature is the great healer. Studies show that if we speak kindly and lovingly to plants, they grow faster, stronger and healthier. If we speak harshly, they can become unwell. Just like humans, there is spirit consciousness that are in union with us. There is so much more to say, but this is a picture of how we can touch another life, a plant life, by how well and connected we are to our own heart forces. I want to share a journaling technique that I love, and I've used it for a very long time, starting after I had severe burnout many years ago and needed to build myself up again in body, mind, soul and spirit. And so I started this exercise of choosing 5 words that I needed to energetically embody. And I chose different words on different days, depending on what I wanted to cultivate inwardly and outwardly on any given day. And it connected me to my own self-empowerment. And then I took these words and I would integrate them into sentences, starting with, I love the idea of, because that is what I wanted to imbue into my feeling life, to cultivate the feeling of having it, even if it was not quite there yet. I love the idea of joy and laughter today. When I wrote and lived into such words in the morning, opportunities came during the day for laughter and joy. It was like a pre-paving technique that then manifested in small and grandiose ways. I love the idea of becoming healthy and well. Such a sentence can stimulate life choices on any given day, where I stop before I do something that doesn't serve me, because I implanted that notion of health and well-being before I set out on my day. I wouldn't always just write a few sentences. Sometimes a whole page was required to really feel I arrived at what joy and laughter or health and well-being felt like. After my burnout, I had to take each day in segments, like a mandarin. I was eating a lot of mandarin citrus fruit at the time, and I refer to that period as my Mandarin Days, whereby I broke each day into small, healthy segments to help me recover. I am creating an online resource called My Mandarin Days on my Emily of Alejandria website, so you can check that out as it will grow over time, and you can choose a segment that suits you on any given day. So when I visited the Lotus Pond recently, there were no lotus flowers, but there were these beautiful water lilies that have a similar quality, with the upward striving toward the light from the depths, and these incredible golden centers radiating out. I have visited this pond over the course of my lifetime. At times there have been little frogs dwelling there, called Latoria aurea, and there are many fishes that flit about in the water amongst the radiating water lilies. This lotus pod has been with me for over a decade. It was given by one of the gardeners at Begonia House. Look at the seeds inside, peeking out and then dropping down again when you lift it up. I am inspired to grow a lotus when summer returns, and so I have just purchased these blue lotus seeds in anticipation, as I still wish to keep my seed pod whole for now. I will make a video later in the year about my attempt to grow lotus flowers. I decided to create a wall of inspiration focusing on the lotus. Here I found and printed some lovely lotus and flower images relating to how the lotus appears in other cultures in art and design. For many years, when I was living a very peripatetic life, flatting and travelling, I would create walls of inspiration that were temporary, but would add a numinous quality to whatever physical space I was living in at the time. Here I have printed some images to the theme, but often I would use old postcards and cards that I found in my collection, sometimes adding objects too. All this inspiration inspires me to retreat to my journal in the quiet and solitude and sketch. What came was the red rose and lotus together. For me, the lotus here is closely related to the Buddha, and the red rose, Christian Rosenkreuz from the Rosicrucian stream. I am selling this work on my website, and I have created a short video about it in respect to Buddha and Christian Rosenkreuz, which you can watch at emilyofalejandria.co.nz. This meditation and movement I'm about to show you can be found on my Mandarin Days on my website, so you can choose to do it regularly. I filmed it in my garden in early summer, amongst the lupins and roses, under the blue sky, in the warm breeze and sun. It is inspired by the heart womb river, with my own visualizations and mantras, and I will talk you through it gently now, so you can integrate it in this moment into your day. For men, you can do this too. The womb, which is found in the sacral energy center, is a divine creation point for all of us. Bringing your hands together in a prayer position and breathing in and out. Move one hand over the heart and one over the womb. Bringing our attention to the energy center of the heart and the energy center of the womb. Breathing in, breathing out. We now bring our hands back to the prayer position and, joining our index finger and thumb, move the hands into a diamond over the heart and gently move down like a river to the womb. This chakra is often referred to as the dwelling place of the self, the home of one's sweetness. We bring our hands back up and into a lotus flower gesture. We can breathe in the powerful forces that emanate from the lotus, that represents our own heart, breathing in and breathing out. Returning to the prayer. We then move again down the river to the womb. In this space, we may feel the intensity of our own personal power and creative forces. And as we move up again into the lotus form, we may envision a golden yellow emanating from the core of the lotus, a warm, compassionate, loving force. We breathe in this warm, golden light. As we move to the womb again, we may feel yearnings that are still to unfold this lifetime. We may say, I honor my creative capacities that wish to be born in my own particular way. When we return to the heart lotus, we may say, my heart is warmed by the soul of the world and spirit light. We live into these words. As we come out of our meditation, we may send our love and gratitude out into the world and back into our heart space. And then we quietly return to this moment in time. Oh, dear friends, thank you for joining me on this very first video that I've created for YouTube. There is more to come, and in the meantime, I send my blessings to you as you tread your own particular path through life. Remember, Seek out the beauty and creativity there is. Find moments of stillness and solitude and connect with nature's deep healing wisdom. These are true pathways to soul nourishment. And I will be back, and in the meantime, me and Alba, we send our warmest. Bye for now.